Shout out to the people, man. What's up with the people? We live, y'all here? 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 Jamil. Jamil. Yo, we live. We live. Y'all in here? 100G. 100G. Yo, this video is dedicated to 100G. 100 grand. Rara, Bash Bash, Johnny M, Rara, Bash Bash, Free Puff, 100 grand. I'm here. What up, though? About to get a haircut. All right. Tank Anderson. Gotta be out of Detroit talking that what up, though. Nutso, what up? 50-year-old Nutso, Keith McGuire. Y'all make sure y'all share this video. Y'all make sure y'all share this video. Jeremy, 100 grand. This video dedicated to 100 grand. I want to thank everybody who, Jersey Rich, what up? Jamil, what up? Who subscribes to my channel membership of $10 a month. I appreciate you. Shout out to Jamil Winning. Y'all follow my man Jamil on his Instagram and all his platforms. So I'm chilling like Matt Dillon. I ain't robbing, I ain't stealing. Johnny Jenkins, what up? Rod D, thank you for the channel membership. Keyboard Warrior, Free Puff. Columbus, Georgia. Phoenix City, Alabama. Columbus, Georgia, what up? My email is thepodcastwassold@gmail.com. I changed my life. I grew up as a very, very fractured child. I grew up with a lot of insecurities. I lacked confidence. James Polite. Look at my seats though. Look at my seat though. My seat look better than your seat. Foundational Black Americans. Blessings, integrity never went out of style. No, it ain't. I grew up with self-confidence issues. I was an insecure, shaky kid. Guy in U 764. I was plagued with a lot of self-doubt, low self-esteem. I was a people pleaser. I sought approval from others before I sought approval of myself. I sought acceptance from other people that I could not give myself. And obviously, if I had no type of self-approval and no type of self-acceptance, the only thing that remains from that is a deep-seated self-hatred. And that's what I had. 1000%. 1000%. I hated how I was raised. I compared my life to my friends' life. I compared my family to their family. I compared myself to them. I was always comparing myself and my circumstance to other people and other people's circumstance. And I always focused on the negative and what was wrong with me, and always came up short in comparing myself to others, and always came away with the feeling that they were better than me. Yo, Bless, what up? And I struggled in my teenage years. I struggled in my teenage years. I struggled in my early 20s, throughout my 20s, as a result of what I'm saying. And I had never, nobody ever in my life ever sat down with me and even said words to me like self-confidence, self-acceptance, self-esteem, self-perception, self-approval, self-love, self-celebration, self-content, self-sufficient, self-control, self-restraint. Nobody in my entire life ever mentioned any words like that to me. Not my mother, not my kindergarten teacher, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, high school, college. Not one person. The preacher, my father, nothing, nobody, nothing. And I'm just saying that for qualification purposes. I'm not blaming. I no longer blame people for my life. I no longer blame my foundational Black American heritage for my life. I no longer blame my skin color for my life. I no longer blame my mother for my life. I no longer blame my father for my life. I no longer blame white people for my life. I no longer blame America for my life. I no longer blame for my life, to the point to where I blame me. If something is not right in my life and I'm not where I want to be, if I suffer a setback, if I experience some type of pain, if I experience a reverse, if I experience a failure, if I experience a defeat, I blame me. I'm that mature and I'm that masculine that I understand that I am to blame. Conversely, on the flip side of that coin, I also give myself the credit. I brag on myself when I have success. I pat myself on the back. I applaud myself. When I win, I applaud myself. When I make good decisions, I say, great work, Sean. When I work hard and achieve good results, I congratulate myself. I clap for myself. When I achieve excellence, I give myself the credit. So what I understand is that everything is me. Nothing is nobody else. Everything is me. I have a choice. And, you know, I didn't learn none of this stuff. And that's okay. You know, I've been teaching these things and drilling these things into my son since he was 5 years old. Everything that I'm talking about on this video, I've been drilling it into my son since he was 5 motherfucking years old. Every day. I made him look up the definitions of these words: self-acceptance, self-approval, self-perception, all of that. Can y'all hear me good? Can y'all see me good? We got good connection? I need y'all to give me a thumbs up. Is the connection good? If the connection is good, put a 6 in the live chat. If the connection is good. There go little Sean right there. There go little Sean right there. Okay. Before Clint. Okay, good. Johnny Jenkins. Why Sean call me on the other line? So I've been drilling this into him since he was 5 years old, because I know better. And what's crazy about being a father? What's up, man? All right, later.
Peace.
What's been a very, very interesting experience for me as a father is that in my son, when you have a son, or even if you have a daughter, I don't have a daughter, so I don't really know. But when you have a son, and it's your son, you will see yourself in your child. It'll be, man, so crystal clear. All of your strengths, all of your powers, all of your assets, all of your intelligence, your DNA, all of that will transfer to your child, and you will see yourself in your son. And conversely, on the flip side of that coin, you will see in your son all of the weaknesses, the insecurities, the negative self-perceptions, the fears, everything that you was at his age. It'll be readily apparent, 1000%. And when I saw that, my first response was, Sean, we're gonna do a surgery. We're gonna do some spiritual surgery on your son, and we're gonna root out all of the weaknesses in him that plagued you for the first 30 years of your life. We're gonna get it out of him by the time he's 17. And if you can do that, you will have broken the low self-esteem cycle in your bloodline by 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. So I introduced him to the words like confidence, high self-perception, belief in oneself, and I make him write them down. But when when I was growing up, and that's one of the beauties about being a father. But when I was growing up, a lot of times with no adult supervision, I turned to drugs, man. I turned to weed. I started smoking weed when I was 12. I had just graduated from 6th grade and I was going into the 7th grade. That summer in 1981, I started smoking weed and drinking beer. And I'm convinced that the fact that I was plagued with all of those negative mentalities that I highlighted for you guys earlier, it was a natural that I would turn to weed to numb the pain, And when I started smoking weed at 12 years old, that was the beginning of my downfall, which led me into full-blown drug addiction, full-blown alcoholism, full-blown dereliction, full-blown criminality, full-blown outlaw, full-blown blamer, full-blown weakness, full-blown insecurity, full-blown fear, full-blown punching below my potential, full-blown weakness, just full-blown. And almost lost my life a couple times in my drug addiction, and after I got clean and started to sell drugs, almost got killed doing that too. And a lot of why I chose that route was because I wanted to fit in. I wanted to fit in. I never felt like I fit in anywhere. And that's all I wanted. And almost cost me my life. And so I started getting high at the age of 12. I used to trip off of mescaline, LSD, smoke dust, angel dust. I used to get dusted, sniff coke, drink liquor, take speed, Valiums, sniff rush, smoke crack, everything. Except I never shot no dope. I was always afraid of a needle. I never shot no dope, and I never sniffed no dope. But this is the 1980s. This is the 1980s. And I got wrapped up in that world. And I got clean October the 16th, 1990. So in 48 more days, I will have been clean for 35 years. I haven't gotten high, gotten drunk in 35 years. Not even a sip of beer, and I don't want to. I have no desire whatsoever to put drugs or alcohol into my body, and I never relapsed. When I got clean, October 16, 1990, I never went back. I never relapsed. A lot of people relapse and die. A lot of people relapse and never get clean again. They suffer. They suffer their whole life. Once I got clean, I never looked back. Because at the end, my drug addiction was so painful, right? What I had done to my life and what I had become, because I was a kid with a lot of potential. I had a lot of potential. I've always been very smart, gifted and talented classes, college prep classes. I scored a 129 on my IQ test when I was in elementary school, I think in the 3rd grade. I always achieved above the minimum basic skills, always made B's and A's, was athletic. And the drugs and the alcohol took all of that away. The drugs and the alcohol, I said, yo, give me that. Give me all that. Give it up. Stuck me up. And I was in so much pain. When I got clean, I was 21 years old. I was 21 years old. I had dropped out of college. I couldn't keep a job. I was fucked up. And I was in so much pain because I used to look at myself and I used to say, Sean, you better than this shit, man. Look at you. Look at what you've become. You had all of these dreams. You wanted to work on Wall Street as a stockbroker. You wanted to, you know, be in the corporate takeovers, and you wanted to, and look at you. You a junkie. You a junkie. You get high and you can't stop. And you 21 years old. You doomed to so much pain psychologically, spiritual pain, mental pain. And I couldn't stop getting high, man. I would try and I couldn't stop, man. Every time I stopped for a week, pick right back up. Stop for goddamn 4 days, pick right back up. Get paid on Friday, be broke by Monday. Get paid on Friday and say, I'm just gonna get one. I'm just gonna. Real Mike Lowry, thank you for that super chat. And Mark Darby, what's up, man? Everybody go follow my man Mark Darby 88 on Instagram. Mark Darby 88 on Instagram. Congratulations on your 3 years, Mike. Shout out to Mike Lowry, clean for 3 years. And I couldn't stop. And eventually, I was in so much pain that the pain outweighed the pleasure. The pain of suffering outweighed the pleasure of getting high. I said, man, I gotta go get some help, man. Because I had tried to get clean on my own. I had tried to get clean on my own, but I couldn't do it. So I went to a drug rehab. Yes, I did. And I went to a 28-day program. And I went to a 28-day program. And I did whatever them people told me to do. I listened. And I stayed clean, man. When I got out of rehab, I started making meetings. I started making meetings, AA meetings, NA meetings, CA meetings. CA was Cocaine Anonymous. I started making meetings, man, to stay clean. And the meetings worked. They worked. I stayed clean. And I've been clean ever since. And that changed my life. That changed my life. I went back to school because I had dropped out of college. I had dropped out of Morris Brown. I couldn't even study. I wasn't going to class. I couldn't keep a job. I was in bad shape. I was in bad shape. Physically, I was in bad shape. And I went back to school, made the best grades that I had ever made, ever, with a clean mind. And graduated, got my degree, Boston, Massachusetts. Got my degree, stayed clean, kept making meetings, and I never looked back. Went on to get my master's degree, worked in the corporate world. After I got clean, I tried to start selling drugs to make back the money that I spent getting high, and ended up catching a case with that in Atlanta, Georgia. I was over there on Rice Street, Fulton County Jail. That's a true story. And I was a young man. I was, what, 24 at the time, trying to be slick, you know, trying to be slick. I almost hit a chicken. The chicken was in the road. I almost ran over that chicken. I swerved out of the way. I didn't want to hit that chicken. And I continued to make bad decisions because I always wanted, I like maximum reward with minimal effort. That's what I like. I like to do the minimum amount of work, but I want the biggest reward. I was backwards. I wanted somebody to give it to me. My mother spoiled me. I was a spoiled kid. I grew up as an only child. My mother gave me whatever I wanted. All I had to do was ask her and point to it. If I pointed to it and said I want it, she would get it for me. And that destroyed me. I was a mama's boy. I was a straight up mama's boy, hands down, without a doubt. And she spoiled me. And that made me weak. When single mothers overlove their boy children, it destroys them. They are done. They are no good. I was useless. I was useless. I would get in trouble, and I knew she was gonna come bail me out of jail. She was gonna pay for the lawyer. She was gonna rescue me. Goddamn RH. She was gonna rescue me. Rescue me. Put me in your arms. And that was she destroyed me. She destroyed me. Period. Period. There's no other way to put it. She meant well. She didn't intentionally set out, say, yo, let me destroy my son. She just overloved me, and you know, there was no male figure around. Goddamn RH, Canada in the building. Shout out to goddamn British Surrey, British Columbia, Surrey. And I remember when I got clean, the realization came that this was going to be something that she couldn't do for me, right? That I had to want to get clean on my own, and I had to maintain my sobriety myself. And that was one of the first things that I learned about accountability, self-accountability. And I remember I was living in the halfway house after I got out of rehab, and I went to the store. I went to the supermarket, and I needed to buy me some house slippers to walk around in the house at the halfway house, because there was a bunch of us in the house living in there together, a bunch of recovering addicts, alcoholics, we all trying to get clean. I went to the supermarket. You know, like in Jersey, we got ShopRite. You know, down south, y'all got Food Line, Kroger, Publix, Winn-Dixie, whatever your supermarket is. And they used to sell like slippers in the back. And the slippers with the little plastic tie, y'all know what I'm talking about? And the slippers would be about $3 and some change, $2.99 or $3.99, and when they put the tax on it, it's $3.26 or $4.27. Can y'all hear me good, or the connection going in and out? And I went and I bought me a pair of slippers, man. I had went to the golf course, I caddied, I made me some money. And I went to the store and bought me a pair of them slippers for like $3 or $4. And I was so proud of myself, because that was the first thing I had ever bought for me, ever. Right? That I needed in terms of like my clothing, shelter, hygiene, that kind of thing. And I remember, man, I bought them slippers for the $4, and I took great pride and great joy that I was able to do that. And you know, my self-esteem went up a little bit. Yep, that's a true story. This is a true story. What I'm telling y'all, this is a true story. This ain't no lie. Can y'all hear me good? Or is the reception going in and out? Can y'all hear me good? Roland Lee. All right. I had a product. Okay, bless. I'm gonna get to a good spot here pretty soon. And we're gonna have clear riding. So I got clean. Then I started selling drugs. Almost get killed doing that. Interstate drug trafficking. Kilos out of Florida to Atlanta. And I used to drive them to South Carolina. This is in the 90s. Almost get killed doing that. Anytime I messed around with drugs, whether if I was getting high or selling it, I always almost ended up losing my life. So I graduate college, and I get my degree. I get out of the jam. I get out of the charge I catch. My mother comes through with the lawyer. What she spent on that lawyer? About $25,000 in 1992. Do the math on that. See how much $25,000 in 1992, what the value of that is in 2026. And I moved back to Jersey. I graduate. I get a job in Atlanta, but I don't want to live in Atlanta. I want to move back. I want to work on Wall Street. That was always my dream, to work on Wall Street. And so I come back to Jersey, and I get a job in the corporate world, and I do very well. I do very well. I go back to the golf course when I came back to Jersey. Now, mind you, I got an accounting degree, and I got a felony conviction. And I'm a young black male. I'm 23, 24. And, I'm like, who's gonna hire me with this felony on my jacket? So I go back to the golf course, and it's crazy because I talked to Mr. J yesterday or the day before. I'm at the golf course caddying, and a real exclusive country club in North Jersey. And I'm well known there. A lot of the members know me. I'm caddying for one of the members who has a placement firm that places accountants in corporate jobs. So he knew me. I started caddying there when I was 17. When I was a junior in high school. And I was good. I was one of the best caddies up there. So I was well known. And he saw me at the course. He said, Sean, he said, why are you caddying, man? Didn't you go to college? You got your degree? And I said, yeah. Slitberry. Seidelberry. What's how I pronounce that? Let me see. I gotta pronounce it right. That's one of my members. Sidberry. Um, I don't know who this motherfucker is with the fake profile talking about they know me. Get your fake ass out of here. Go get a life, motherfucker. Get your fake ass. You's a true sucker. You don't know me. So I said, Mr. J, this is a Polish man. This is a white man. True story. He said, Sean, why is you caddying and you got your accounting degree? Why are you not working? I said, I got a felony when I was in Atlanta selling drugs. Possession with the intent to distribute a controlled substance. Violation of the Georgia Controlled Substance Act. And he said, I had got a job with a bank. I had got a job with a bank down in Newark, New Jersey. I got that one on the golf course. Another white dude, one of the members, one of the white men who were members of this country club, got me in the management training program at a bank in Newark, New Jersey. I was making a good salary. I think my salary was like $28,000 a year. This was in 1994. That was good money back then. But anytime you work for a bank, they run your fingerprints. And when they ran my fingerprints, my felony in Atlanta came up and they fired me. They fired me. Because on the application, when the application said, have you ever been convicted of a crime involving thievery, theft, stealing, or embezzlement? I checked no. Because I wasn't. I didn't. Mine was a drug charge. And I didn't disclose that I had the drug charge. So when the fingerprints came back, they called me in the office and they fired me. So here I go back to the golf course. And this is when I run into Mr. J. And I talked to Mr. J the other day because I'm going to get Sean a job up at the golf course. Summer job next year. And he said, Sean, come to my office on Monday and bring me your resume. I said, okay. So Monday, the course was closed. Look at that helicopter. I go up to Mr. J's office. Mr. J is a Polish man. Shout out to all the Polish people, man. Dzień dobry. Dzień dobry. And I gave him my resume. And he placed me with a company that he had a big contract with, that he placed a lot of people with, and they paid him big money, right? And his fee was a percentage of whatever salary that you received when you got hired. And he took a chance on me, man. Took a chance on me with his reputation of his firm. And he told the company, don't pay me a fee for Sean. He told him all about my felony. He told him everything up front. And they hired me. This company hired me. This is a white man now helping me now. This is a white man. For all you niggas out there that hate white people, this is a white man that helped me. I just told you about another white man that got me the job down there at Newark. See, cause that's why I can't get on the tip where I just hate white people, man. That's because that's not my story. That's not my experience. I done had some good positive experiences with white people. I've had some good positive experience with all types of people. I had some negative experiences with all types of people, including niggas, foundational black Americans. So I can't get on the tip that I'm just gonna hate somebody because of their color. I can't do that, because a lot of people done helped me. And I get support from all around the world. People all around the world have bought my merch, bought my books, supported me, watched my videos, bought my hoodies, bought my sweatpants, shirts, hats, bucket hats, all that. See, you got a fake profile, sucker. So we definitely don't worry about nothing about you. Look at this sucker right here, only one king. So a few people helped you and you excuse these crackers, you tripping. Look at how this nigga talk. You tripping. Learn how to speak first, motherfucker, before you open your mouth, fake profile boy. Get your fake ass off my channel, nigga. What have you bought from me? What have you bought from me, fake profile boy? What have you supported from me? Probably a nigga. What have you bought from me, supported me, black ass nigga? Nothing. Get your fake ass out of here. So he placed me with this company, didn't take the fee, took a chance on me. I could have did something crazy, ruined his business reputation, he could have lost the account. But I got on that job and I was grateful for that job. I was grateful for the opportunity, and I took advantage of the opportunity. And I ended up working at that company for like 3 years, man, and ended up doing on that job what I had always dreamed about doing on Wall Street. I ended up doing it on that job. I was a business analyst, financial analyst, and I did mergers and acquisitions. I used to, for the company I worked for, I used to buy other real estate companies for them. From deals as small as $10,000 to deals as big as $100 million. I've worked on those kind of deals by myself. All as a result of getting this job. And I ended up leaving that job. I got recruited away by another company. They gave me like a 30% raise in my salary. I was making $45,000 a year. My salary was first it was $39,000. I was making $39,000 a year. This was in 1997. I was making like $39,000 a year. And a position came open for a director of mergers and acquisitions. And I was in line. That should have been motion. And I put in for the promotion. That should have been my job. And I should have got a salary increase. I should have got my own office. I was working out of a queue. And I had a great reputation on that job. Everybody knew me. I had been there 3 years. I had a great attendance record. I never called out. Like I say, I don't get high, I don't drink, so I don't be fucking around on my job. And the vice president hired a dude that went to college where he went to college that worked in a whole nother department that knew nothing about mergers and acquisitions or how to value companies. He knew nothing about it, but hired them over me. And I had to train this motherfucker. That bothered me, man. I was hurt. I was hurt. I was disappointed. I was mad. I was pissed off. I was discouraged. I felt like I've been jerked. I felt disrespected. So another company, they heard about what happened. They knew how good I was. They came and offered me, when they hired the dude over me, they gave me a $6,000 raise from $39,000 to $45,000. So I took it. But then another company came and they offered me $73,000 a year, doing the same thing. So I said, damn, 45,000 to 73. I left and went to work at the new company. This was in 1999. So I went over there to the new company and I hated it. I hated it. I hated the work environment. I hated the methodology with the way they ran things. At the old company where I was making less money, I had more power. I was so good at what I was doing. I was so known. I was so respected that I could get up from my desk and I just had power to do things, right? I could walk around the building. I could just fuck around. I could come late to work, leave early. And what I didn't understand at the time, that in and of itself is compensation. Maybe not financial compensation, but it's like a psychological compensation, right? It's a freedom compensation. It's a moral compensation, because you could do things at a company where you're known by everybody that you can't do when you go to a new spot. When you go to a new spot, don't nobody know you. They don't care. And I chose the money as how old was I? 96. This was in 97, 98. So I was 27 years old, 28 years old. So I chose the money because I was a greedy little kid, 28 years old. I said, the money, the money, the money. But when I got over there, I didn't like it. I was making more money, yes, but I hated the culture of the company. I hated the way they did things. I didn't have as much power. You know, my desk, my boss was sitting right on top of me. And I regretted leaving. So what I did, I resigned. This was in 1999, and I started my own business. I was 30 years old, and I never went back to work with nobody, to work for nobody since that day. Hollywood T. Hollywood T. Thank you for your channel membership. I never went back to work for nobody else since. And I became an entrepreneur. I went broke several times as an entrepreneur. Went back to the golf course caddying. I even got teaching jobs at local colleges in New Jersey, teaching math, pre-algebra, to help pay the bills, caddy to help pay the bills. Because it took a long time for my business to take off. I started that business in 1999, and I struggled, man. I went broke. I had no money. Late on my rent. Late on my goddamn. Got my car repossessed. Late on the electric. No food in the house. I'm eating loaf of bread with tap water. One night I got so hungry I ate a can of cake frosting, chocolate cake frosting with tap water to go to sleep. I didn't have no money, no food. This was like around 2000, 1999, 2000. But I never quit. I never gave up. And I kept working, and I started doing taxes in 1999. In 2000, my mother said, well, why don't you do taxes? I said, I don't want to do no taxes. I was just working on $20 million deals, $8 million deals, $2 million deals, $100 million deal. I don't want to do no goddamn taxes. I thought it was beneath me. But I got so broke, I said, man, let me try this taxes. And I started doing taxes. And that's how I became a millionaire. That's how I became a millionaire. And I started in the year 2000, 1999, 2000, and by 2000, I went and got my real estate agent's license in 2003. I became a real estate agent. Went to real estate school, passed the test. They didn't give me my license right away because I had the felony conviction in Atlanta. So I had to write a letter to Trenton. I had to get all of my disposition of how my case turned out. I had to order that from Fulton County Court in Atlanta, Georgia, and send it to Trenton, New Jersey, to the New Jersey Real Estate Commission to show them what my charge was. And when they saw that my charge was a drug charge, they gave me my license. This was like after about 6 weeks. Typically, when you go to real estate school and you take the real estate test, if you pass it, you get your license the same day. But being that I had a felony, they didn't give me my shit the same day. So I got my real estate license. I started doing real estate deals and taxes at the same time. I was a real estate agent for like 3 years, and then I went back and took the broker's exam. Passed the broker's exam, same thing. I had to send to the Real Estate Commission in Trenton about my felony. They gave me my broker's license. This was around 2006. So now around this time, my tax business is growing. I'm selling real estate. I'm doing short sales. I'm doing flips. I'm making money. My entrepreneurial business is able to take care of me. I ain't got to teach no more. I ain't got to go to the golf course no more. I'm getting money. So I get my own office around 2008. Was it around 2006. I go and I rent my own office. And I'm doing great. I'm winning. And by 2008, at the age of 30, 39 years old, I have $1 million net worth. I become a millionaire by doing taxes, selling real estate, investing in property, real estate, property management, short sales, flips, all of that. And I got more money than I've ever seen in my life. I've never had this amount of money ever in my life. My mother never had this kind. I don't know anybody that had that kind of money. And I got all of this money. And now I'm even, what the money did for me, the money brought a lot of women. I had a lot of women. I was fucking a bunch of women. And the money made me careless and reckless. It made me careless and reckless. I felt undefeated. I felt untouchable. I felt invincible. Cause for once in my life, I could buy anything I wanted. Anything that my heart desired. I could go in any store, and if I saw something, I could buy it. I didn't have to say, yo, how much is this? I could just get it. Give me that. Give me that. Matter of fact, give me 2 of them. Put it on my American Express. That shit, it blew my head up, man. It made me reckless. It did. And I started taking risks. And I was dealing with so many women, man. I had so many women in my life. It was crazy. It was crazy. My female clients that I did their taxes, I used to fuck them in my office, on my desk, and then I had a couch. I had a couch that I bought from IKEA in my office. I was out of my mind. I had 3 girlfriends, 3 serious girlfriends, and I'm fucking my female clients raw, no rubber. I ain't fucking nobody with no rubber. Fucking everybody raw. All the women. Thank God I didn't get no, look at them deer over there. I didn't get no diseases. But with all that money, with all that money and all them women, and I'm buying Brooks Brothers suits, Hickey Freeman suits. I'm getting tailor-made suits with my name sewn in them. I'm flying to Africa. I'm flying to Brazil. I come back to Jersey. I fly back to Africa. I've been to Africa 4 times. Cuba, Brazil, Egypt, Sudan, South Africa, Swaziland, Lesotho. And I'm 38 years old. I'm a young man. No kids. I don't got little Sean at this point. Not married. And I got tall dollars. And I'm out of my fucking mind. I'm fat. I got high triglycerides, high blood pressure. I'm 195 pounds. I'm almost 200 pounds. High cholesterol, fat, erectile dysfunction. But I got all this money. And the most unhealthy that I ever been. But all I see, the only score I'm keeping is my money. I'm making $200,000 in 1 month, $50,000 a week in February doing taxes, $200,000 in February every year, $330,000 working January, February, March, and April. 4 months, well, December too, 5 months. And when June would get here, the tax season is done, I'm sitting in my bank account, I got fucking $290,000 and nothing to do. I don't want to sell real estate. I ain't getting no listings. I'm looking for properties to buy and flip. And so from June, July, August, September, October, November, I would just be flying around the world spending money. This is a true story. This is my real life. This is my real life. This ain't no fake profile. I ain't like y'all. That's why I don't like none of y'all, because all y'all got fake profiles. Your life fake. You can never be me. This ain't no fake profile. This is my real life. This is my real life. And I got all this money, and I'm living foul. I'm lying to women. I'm manipulating women. I'm tricking with women. I'm using my power of the money that I got to get women to do what I want them to do. I know this girl needs financial help. Let me pay her car insurance or car payment, you know what I'm saying, in exchange for her time. You know, I'm just a piece of shit. I'm lying. You know, I'm ripping off the United States government. I'm cheating the IRS. I'm stealing. But I'm rich. But I'm rich. That's all I can see. I'm rich. But spiritually, mentally, I'm just all wrong. I got fly clothes. I got fly cars. I got fly shoes, fly gear, fly suits, fly sneakers, 30, 35 pairs of sneakers, 12, 13 pairs of shoes, 19, 20 suits, 60 shirts with my monogram in them, 15 pairs of suspenders, cufflinks, you name it. I got it. I got everything except integrity. Hey, I got everything in the world except integrity and authenticity. I got everything in the world, what they told me to get, but integrity. I ain't got no integrity and no authenticity. True story. This is my real life. Y'all gotta get my books. Go on my website and get my books. The podcast was sold.bigcartel.com. That link is underneath this video. And read my books. I talk about all of that. So this is how I'm living. I'm 38, 39 years old, 40. And I'm making crazy money. I got 9 houses. I bought me a house in Jersey City, New Jersey. I got 9 rental properties. 9. I'm collecting rent, about $7,000 in rent every month, $84,000 in rent. Collected $330,000 in revenue from my tax business. My salary, my income is $400,000 a year. Every year. And I'm out of my fucking mind. You know? And I end up I don't know how the feds got put on me, man. I don't know how they got put on me, man. It was a bunch of rat niggas around where I live. My brother, my own brother, my mother's son, my half brother hated me. Me and my brothers, I got two other, well, really I had three brothers. Because my mother had a baby and she left him in the hospital. He went into foster care. That was the one right above me. Then there was two other brothers, two other sons she had that she left them down south. She had them when she was like 21, 20, 22. She was a little girl. And she left them with her mother, which is my grandmother, down in Georgia, and she came to New Jersey because she didn't want to pick cotton no more. She didn't want to work in the fields in the 1960s, which is what a lot of the foundational black Americans was doing in the South. So when she came up north, she was messing around with a married man. My mother fell in love with a married man. And they had two children together while he was married. And I think she wanted him to leave his wife and be with her. And he didn't do it. And the second boy that they had together, my mother left him in the hospital. She had him, and then she told the hospital that she was gonna go home and come back tomorrow to get him, and she never went back. And he went into foster care. I ended up meeting him. I ended up meeting Rodney. He lived in Harlem. Looked just like my mother. That shit blew my mind. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, so my two brothers that my mother had that she left down south, they hated my mother. And I understood that because she did them wrong. She left them down south, and she left them, she abandoned them. That's what she did. They hated my mother, and then they hated me because she kept me. She kept me. And I was a BA student. I was good at IRS, and the feds on me. I swear to God, this is a true story, nigga. This is a true story, nigga. This is my real life. This ain't if you not like me. You got a fake profile. I ain't got no fake profile. That's why you attracted to my channel. And then there was some other niggas that got busted doing taxes in dead people's names and inmates' names. But anyway, the Fed came, they started investigating me. They started following me around and shit. I got investigated, indicted, and I pled guilty to 28 count. I had a 28 count indictment for aiding and abetting in the preparation of fraudulent tax returns. I was ripping off the United States government in taxes. I was getting my clients back bigger refunds than I was supposed to, which was wrong. And I pled guilty. I took a plea deal. They wanted me to become an informant. They wanted me to sign a 5K1 and wear cameras and goddamn mics and all that kind of shit and be an informant. Sign a 5K1, sign a proffer agreement. I said, man, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm not going to be able to do that. So they said, well, you're going to prison. I said, well, hey, let's go. Let's get there. Hurry up. Hurry up and send me. Hurry up and send me. And the undercover agent who came in my office, the undercover agent that worked for the FBI that came in my office and filmed me and recorded me was a black female. was a foundational black American female. She might have been, or Haitian or Jamaican, whatever she was, or African, but she was black. For all you black power niggas. And the niggas that ratted on me, my brother was foundational black American, and the other niggas was Muslims that didn't eat pork and had 5% of names. These was 5%ers. Peace to the gods. They was all working for the feds to bring me down. For all you Malcolm X niggas that hate white people. This is what your people did to me. This your people. That's why I don't like none of y'all. I don't trust none of y'all. All 8 billion of y'all, I don't like none of y'all. I don't trust none of y'all. I just trust me and Little Sean. That's it. That's it. My brother, Black Power. Nigga, get the fuck away from me. Get your ass up out of here. Go over there. Go over there. I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know you. Just because we black don't mean we brothers. No, it don't. 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 But anyway, I pled guilty. I took a plea deal, pled guilty, went to prison, lost my whole net worth. All of my 9 properties went into foreclosure. My personal residence went into foreclosure. Everything, lost everything. Because when the feds came, I got scared. They shook me. I was scared to death. And I started to trade in the options market. I started to make very, very risky, high risk options trades. And I lost $656,000 in like 4 months and went dead broke. This is a real story, man. This is a true story. And I paid my lawyers $61,000, $459.47. Goddamn Hendo. Hey, Hendo, peace to the God. Fool him, devil. Fool him, devil. Fool him, devil. Get your fake ass out of here. Thanks for the super chat, Hendo. So I lost all my money. And still had to go to prison. Now, I had a main girl. I had 2 main girlfriends. Two main that I loved. I loved them both and they both loved me. And then I had like some of my clients, I was knocking them down. You know what I'm saying? I was knocking anything down. All my female clients, I was having sex with my clients on my desk, in my office, on a couch. I had a couch in my office. I would have sex in the other office. I had 2 offices. I was wilding. I was crazy. So then I started having an affair with my secretary. And my secretary got pregnant. That's Little Sean's mother. She was living with her kid's father. I had 2 girlfriends, and my main girl did her hair, was her beautician. I was fucking both of them at the same time. And when the feds came, She cooperated with them against me and stole custody of little Sean from me. East New York, 318. She cooperated with the feds against me and stole custody of little Sean and agreed to cooperate against me to help send me to prison. Right. So this is my real life. See, all y'all got fake profiles. All y'all fake. Y'all not as real as me. See, the contest between me and you is who could be the most real, who could be the most transparent. Whoever could be the most real wins the conversation. Whoever could be the most honest wins the conversation. Well, pull up, champ. I see you say she's wicked. I don't think so. Because she wasn't the criminal. Like Sean's mother, she wasn't the criminal. I was the criminal. I had the criminal intent. I was the one ripping off the government, right? She's a civilian, right? And the feds probably went to her and scared her and said, listen, we're going to put you in prison. We're going to take custody you're going to lose custody of all your kids. You know what I'm saying? And I can understand her being like, no, I don't want to lose my kids. So I wouldn't say she's wicked. Was she scared into doing that? Absolutely. And I can accept that now. But before, I couldn't accept it. You know what I'm saying? But now I understand it. But anyway, so I go to prison. I fly to prison on a one-way flight. I had to self-surrender. I got sentenced to 18 months. That was my fault. I was the one breaking the law. She was helping me, but she wasn't the mastermind. I was the mastermind behind the crime. So I deserved to go to prison. I was wrong for ripping off the government. And I deserved to go to jail because I did wrong. Right? So I go to court August the 4th, 2014. I go to August the 4th, 2014. Me and little Sean catch the bus and the train from Jersey City, New Jersey to Newark, New Jersey, to 50 Walnut Street. And I go into court and this white dude is sitting in the courtroom that worked for the FBI. That, remember my brother, the one I told you that hated me, that maybe put the feds on me? About a year or two prior to that, he had told me that he spoke to this dude. We had a big argument. That's why I spoke to such and such, nigga, fuck you. And the name he said was this white dude sitting in court, this agent. So I looked over, saw him, I said, oh shit, I saw this nigga on the computer. So that's how I know my brother had something to do with it. Or either they met with him too, and he helped them. Everybody was helping to bring down Sean G. Everybody. So we go to court, me and Sean, and my prosecutor is a black female, assistant U.S. attorney. She's black female. She asked for 18 months sentence. I had mandatory incarceration because I was level 15, category 1. Like Puffy is a level 14, category 1. So they said, man, the only way you can not go to prison is you gotta become an informant. Because Sean's mother filed for custody. She took me to court and stole custody of Sean 27 days before I was scheduled to self-surrender. I go to court August the 4th. They give me 18 months. Just me and Sean go to court. Just me and Sean. Nobody asked to come. Nobody that I helped. I helped motherfuckers with thousands of dollars, tens of thousands, hundred thousands. Sean's mother got over 100,000 out of me. My other girlfriends got tens of thousands. None of them bitches asked to go to court with me. None of them. None of them. Nobody. I help people with money, loan people money, everything. I went to court by myself. Little Sean, the only one that came to court with me. And he couldn't stay in the court. They said he can't stay in the court because he was only, Sean was 3. He was 3 years old. 3 and a half. And they took him outside. They sentenced me to 18 months. And they let me go home on a $100,000 reconnaissance bond. And I felt so much relief after I got sentenced and I knew I was going to prison. I felt so much relief because my investigation lasted 3.5 years, and I went into a depression from losing my $1 million net worth, losing all my properties, people backstabbing me, people cooperating against me, just everything, man. Mad at myself, humiliated. My name was in the paper, my name was on the internet. If you go on Google right now and you type in my name, Sean Gunby Taxes, my whole case comes up. I was humiliated, I was embarrassed, I was regretful, I was remorseful, I was ashamed, I felt stupid, I had lost all my money, my entire net worth, and I went into a depression for 3.5 years, man, that I almost didn't come out. I was scared, I didn't know if they were gonna give me probation or send me to prison or give me home confinement. And when I got sentenced, it was a relief because now I knew, all right, nigga, now you going to jail. All right, cool. Now I know. Now there's no more like, am I going to jail? Am I going to stay home? Am I going to get home confinement? Am I going to get probation? Can I fight for my son? So after I got sentenced, a month and a half later, I got sentenced August the 4th, August the 6th. They gave me till October the 6th to self-surrender. They gave me 60 days to get my affairs in order. And on September 27th, 9 days before I was scheduled to self-surrender, Sean's mother filed for custody of him. And I couldn't do nothing about it because I was going to prison. And I said, I told my public pretender, because I had fired my lawyers by this time, I said, yo, man, you got to keep me out of jail, man, because I got to fight for my son, man. He said, Sean, the only way you can stay out of prison, man, you got mandatory incarceration. You got to become an informant. You got to cooperate. I said, well, we ain't doing that. So I went to prison. And when I got to prison, I was scared to death to go, man. I did little county jail time and shit like that. Locked up in Central Booking in Manhattan. But I'd never been to prison, and I was scared to death. And they sent me to prison out in West Virginia. They sent me out to West Virginia. I was scared as a cat on a hot tin roof in July. But I went. They told me, they said, man, if you don't, they sent me a letter. They said, if you don't report to FCI Morgantown, Federal Correctional Institution Morgantown, by 12 noon, August the 6th, 2014, at 12:01, we will issue a warrant for your arrest. You will be considered a United States fugitive, and we will send the U.S. Marshals to track you down. So I went. And when I got to prison, that's where I changed my life. That's where I changed my life. That's where I changed my life. I went into prison 195 pounds, and I'm a short nigga. I'm only 5'7". So I was fat. I was super fat. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, erectile dysfunction, depression, high triglycerides. Alicia Butler, thank you for the super chat. High blood pressure, everything. I'm fucked up. And I get into the joint, and I see all these niggas in prison, white dudes, Latinos, Asians, Europeans, Africans, Puerto Ricans, niggas, Caribbean blacks, African blacks, everybody walking around with their head held high, their chin in the sky, their shoulders up, with a tremendous amount of arrogance, a tremendous amount of conceit, a tremendous amount of confidence, a tremendous amount of self-esteem, a tremendous amount of high self-perception. And I said, yo, this is amazing. I said, this is amazing. And that shit rubbed off on me. It rubbed off on me. And I stopped living in the past, because a big part of my depression was that I was living in the past. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. I should have not have did this. I should have not made the options trades. I should have just paid my houses off, and this is why I have some money when I get out. I should have not messed with this person. I should have not did something with that person. Living in the past will destroy you. It destroyed me. And that was one of the main reasons I went into my depression. But when I got in there, it was over, right? I was in prison. It was over. What had happened had happened. There was nothing I could do to change it. I was broke. I was fucked up. I lost custody of my son. I lost my house. I lost all my money. I lost my real estate license, lost my business, lost my cars, lost my furniture. You know what I'm saying? Lost my real estate broker's license. I lost everything material, except I didn't lose my mind. I didn't lose my brain. And I knew that I was still smart. I knew that I was still a hustler. I knew that I was still, I've been a hustler all my life since I had a paper route in the 6th grade. I got my first paper route in the 6th grade. I used to deliver newspapers, deliver pizza, all that kind of shit. So I knew that I was still, that I was smart, and I knew that I was a hustler, right? And it was almost like the universe knew to place me in this federal prison with 1,100 men who exuded confidence, bravery, conceit, arrogance, cockiness, braggadocio. Everybody was like that. The majority, let me say the overwhelming majority, because you have to be. You have to be, right? You're on a federal prison yard. You have to look like something. Your body language got to speak something, and your eye contact got to speak something. Your shoulders, your walk, your talk, everything. And it was exactly what I needed. And I started to talk to other inmates. I met a lot of good people in there, people I'm still friends with. And I started listening to some of the dudes, you know, stockbrokers who were in there as inmates, judges were inmates, mayors, governors, city councilmen, senators, cops, dentists, pediatricians, doctors, ripping off Medicaid and Medicare, dentists and pharmacists selling prescription medications out the back of the pharmacy. You know, everybody was in there. Gangbangers, Crips, Bloods, drug cartels out of Colombia, you name it, they was in there. And I started to hear some of the stories of this guy lost $4 million. Oh, I lost $9 million. Oh, how much did you lose? I lost $19 million. I lost $37,000. I had 2 cases. I got an $80 million restitution on one and $110 million restitution on the other. Oh, I lost $250 million. Oh, I got busted for a Ponzi scheme. 41,000. I started to hear all of these stories from these inmates who weren't depressed. They weren't walking around with the shoulder slump, living in the past, poor me, poor me. They were thinking about, yo, I'm just gonna walk this time down, and when I get out, I'm gonna make it right back. You know, and I said to myself, I said, Sean, you talking about a punk ass $1.2 million, and a lot of these dudes they had 5-year sentences, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. And I said, man, you got 18 months and you lost $1 million. I said, nigga, you better go sit down somewhere and chill. And that was where I made my comeback, man. Right there in prison. And I changed my life. I changed the way I thought. I changed my thoughts and I changed my life from inside federal prison. I came out an infinitely better man than what I was when I went in. You know, now integrity means something to me, right? Authenticity means something to me. Money doesn't mean that much to me. Money doesn't determine my self-esteem or my self-perception, right? You know, I don't need money to get pussy. Bitches want to fuck me just for who I am. They like me. They like my style. I look good. I got a nice body. I got a pretty face. I got a brilliant mind. I got a sense of humor. I got a gift for gab. You know, and women like that. I'm aggressive. I'm confident. I'm arrogant. I'm cocky. I'm conceited. All women love that. So I don't need to have money to get no pussy, right? I get that no problem for free. They give it to me. And I got out. I fought for custody of my son. I won that. And, you know, I came all the way back. I got out. I wrote my books. Y'all got to go on my website and get my books. My books that I wrote on my website is actually my diary. I published my diary. Hey, ladies love cool short, LLS. So if you want to read what I'm telling you, it's in my books, 100%. Nobody would hire me when I got out. So I started cleaning windows. And I started filming myself on YouTube, cleaning windows. It took off. And I started doing my federal prison calisthenics routines. People liked it. It took off. And I started interviewing people in the park. And my nigga, the pull-up champ on this site, on this comment section right now, Quest, he was one of the first niggas that I interviewed in Eastside Park in Patterson. You know what I'm saying? And I never looked back. I never looked back. I never went and got welfare, never went and got food stamps. Never went and got Section 8, never went and got no government assistance. I came all the way back. And I still ain't done yet. They probably could make a movie on my life, man. My life could be a movie. This is my real life. I ain't got no fake profile. I ain't got no fake profile. I got high self-esteem. That's why I ain't got no fake profile. I got arrogance and conceit. I'm conceited and I'm arrogant. So I don't want to have no fake profile. I want y'all to see who I am. I want you to know, because I'm going to be bragging about everything. And that was the crazy experience about prison, man. Was everybody bragged about everything they did good. If they played chess good, if they played Scrabble good, or casino, or whatever, Monopoly, push-ups, pull-ups, bench press, squats, deadlifts, cards, whatever. Everybody was always bragging. And I loved it, because I bragged too. I fit right in with that. And what bragging on yourself does, man, it's a positive self-affirmation. It's a positive, it's a self-esteem boost that you give yourself without waiting on anybody else to do it. It's a self-celebration that you give yourself without waiting on anybody else to do it. It's a self-love. It's a self-appreciation. And it's positive reinforcement that you need to give yourself, because everybody hates you. Nobody likes you. Nobody cares. And people will slit your throat. If they could get ahead by slicing your throat, they're gonna do it. Even in your family. Trust me. Because the first law of nature is self-preservation. That's the first law of nature. The human being is nothing but an animal. He's an evolved animal. We are no different than a pack of gazelles or a pack of zebras, where the dominant zebra leads the pack, or a pack of elephants. We're no different than that, except the animal has more integrity and more authenticity than we do. We fake about it. We claim to be morally upright and we've evolved and we have morals and values. No, we don't. If you can find a way to get over at the expense of another human being, you're gonna do it. It's just in your nature. The only thing that keeps our true nature from coming out and taking over is we have laws. Westernized colonial laws. And a military and a police force with weapons. That's it. If there was none of that, it would be survival of the fittest out here. So, that's it. That's my story, man. Y'all want to hear something else? If you want to hear something else, this is going to be my last point. If you want to hear something else, put an 8 in the live chat. It'd be worse. It'd be worse, SW20, because the strong would be taking dudes' wives and daughters. Would be taking them. It wouldn't be no sneaking to do it. with just taking it in front of your face, taking your food, all that. If you want to hear another part of the story, put an 8 in the live chat. Alright, cool. All y'all in there. So if you've listened to the story I just told y'all for the last hour and 45 minutes, now you know why I helped Puffy the way that I helped Puff. Because I identified so much with his story. And you can see the parallels and the similarities in our stories, man. You know, you can see the parallels and the similarities in our stories. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I helped him the way that I helped him. Because it was done to me. 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 You know, it was done to me. And I said, yeah, the nigga, he beat that girl up in that hallway. He assaulted Cassie. That was domestic violence. And my mother, I watched my mother get beat up by my father in the 70s. Black eyes, blood on the floor, the whole shit. I saw real domestic violence in my household as a little boy growing up in the 1970s. And I think that traumatized me and impacted my self-esteem and all the insecurities and shit I talked about at the outset of this video. So I'm not a proponent of domestic violence or beating up women. That's not, I'm not into that. But Puffy wasn't charged with domestic violence. He wasn't charged with assault. If he had been, he would have went to prison. You know, but what I saw them charging him with, I felt compelled to come to his aid. And the more lies that I heard in the case, and the more I saw the women that he helped, just like the women that I helped, turn against him and get on the stand and testify against him and point the finger, I saw my case. Except I didn't go to trial. I didn't go to trial. I pled guilty. They had me on camera. They had me on video. The black girl, the foundational black American undercover agent, came and videotaped me, who said she went to a historically black college like me, which probably was a lie. She filmed me. Black power. So I didn't go to trial. But that's why I helped him, and that's why I continue to help him. Right? The nigga is entitled to make a mistake. Right? Is he guilty of domestic violence? Yes. Is he guilty of assaulting Cassie? Yes. Is he guilty of personal drug use? Yes. But he needs to go to prison for 30 years for that? Or even 5 years? No. No. He needs to go to prison for life without the possibility of parole? No. No. And I wasn't gonna stand by and let that happen without using my platform to help him in any way that I could, based on my experience of going through the federal system. You understand? So that's why I helped that nigga the way I did. Do y'all think I helped him? Do you think my coverage helped Puffy in his trial? Do you think any of the jurors watched my content? Do you think I had an impact on the trial in Puffy's favor, or you think it didn't matter whether what I said or not? I'm curious. Vicky Slaughter, absolutely. Isaiah, Diddy, Unc, Sean G, a big bag, and they want to do all they want to do. I thought about what you just were saying today. I planned on emailing you just to say thank you for the inspirational emails. Henry D, what up? I think it helped with the public opinion and maybe the jurors. I hope it did. Yeah, Sean, the jury be doing 10 says to 10 now. I think your commentary certainly brought another perception. I was doing my videos for the jury. Because the people that wanted to see Puffy get convicted had mainstream media and other YouTubers doing their videos for the jury too, to influence the jury, right? Because why wouldn't they sequester the jury in a big profile trial like that? The biggest trial probably in the history of the United States. Why wouldn't you sequester the jury for the 8 weeks? Put them in hotel rooms, take out the TV, take out the phone in the room, confiscate their cell phones, and just let them go to trial. And when the trial is over, put them all in a bus and take them back to the same hotel and pretty much imprison them. It's called sequestering, right? But they didn't do that. They let the jury go home every day. And I know for a fact that jury was maybe not in great detail, but they had to be scrolling through CNN, scrolling through NBC, scrolling through TMZ, scrolling through YouTube, scrolling through Instagram, scrolling through ABC News, scrolling through Fox News, scrolling through Law and Order. And maybe the prosecution said the overwhelming commentary is going to be so negative against Puff that the jury will be influenced and intimidated into convicting him no matter what comes out. And I said, nah. I said, Sean, you in the same. And see, I came out the courtroom, and when I would go home, Felix Warren, what up? When I would go home, I would look at mainstream media, Tisa Tells, Nancy Grace, Piers Morgan, TMZ, ABC, CBS, NBC, Tisa Tells, this one, that one, Gene Deal, and I would be in the same courtroom with those reporters, with those YouTubers, and they would come out. We just heard the same testimony, and they would say something totally different from what went on in the court. I said, Sean, bet. That's your play right there. That's your open window. Because if the jury is also going home at night and watching what mainstream media is saying and what Tisa Tells and all these other fake YouTubers and Instagrammers are saying, and then they happen to come across you, they know that what mainstream media is saying didn't happen in the courtroom. But if one or two of them jurors come across you and listen to you, they gonna say, that's the nigga. He's reporting exactly what we heard. And I felt like if I could influence two or three of them, and then they could tell two or three others, or maybe all of them, yo, check this dude out. Check the podcast with Soul out. He's the only one covering the direct examination and covering the cross-examination. He's telling it just like it is. And that's who I made my videos for, man. That's who I made my videos for. I didn't even make the motherfuckers for Puff. I made them to speak the truth. Right. So you mean to tell me, sidebar, you mean to tell me y'all are gonna loop this 13-second clip? You're gonna play this clip over and over and over on CNN, mainstream media, Instagram, YouTube, every day, all day, of Puffy walking up behind Cassie, grabbing her, pulling her down, kicking her, and stomping on her. Y'all gonna play that, just that 13-second clip, which he was cold-blooded wrong and guilty of assault and domestic violence. I gotta take a piss, man. I gotta pull over and take a piss. Y'all gonna take that 13-second clip and try to give this man life without the possibility of parole and forfeit his $400 million net worth fortune? No. 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 And Puff is foundational black American like me. I'm foundational black American. I gotta take a piss. I gotta pull over. And that's my brother, man. That's my brother. You know what I'm saying? That's my brother, man. We got the same name. We spell our names the same way. We the same age. I might be a little bit older than Puff. And I said, nah, man. You know? And that's why I started making the content, man. That's why I started making the content. And that was what motivated me, man. That motivated me. First, I thought, hold on, y'all, let me take a piss, man. Cause I didn't drink all that coffee. Y'all gonna wait for me? Y'all gonna wait right here? Wait right here. Let me take a piss. I gotta get out. Hold up. Don't go nowhere. Stay right there. Y'all still there? Y'all still there? Y'all still there? Y'all probably said, damn, it takes Sean a long time to piss. It do. Like when I don't go to the bathroom, like if I hold my pee a long time, I piss a long time. And as I've gotten older, I got a slow stream. I ain't got no fast stream like Lil Sean. Like when Lil Sean go piss, he 14, that should be like, like y'all young dudes when I used to be young. But when you get older, you gonna get a slow stream. You're gonna get a slow stream. Type slow stream in the live chat. Say Sean G got a slow stream. Put slow stream in the live chat. So what was I talking about? Slow stream. Nigga got a slow stream. I ain't got no erectile dysfunction though. My jammy still work. Nigga got this 56-year-old slow stream. Y'all saw how long I was out there? But look, I gotta say this part here too. Disclaimer. So I have been fasting. I have been doing an intermittent fast for the last 47 hours. So since Tuesday night, the last time I ate any food, Sean Trickle, I got the slow trickle. The last time I ate any food was Tuesday night at 10 o'clock. I fried some turkey. I fried some turkey with cheese, turkey breast with cheese, and 4 eggs. And I put it on one slice of bread with jelly. And I ate that at 10 o'clock Tuesday night. Since then, I haven't had no food, and all I've been drinking is these big motherfuckers. Water and coffee. So I keep going to the bathroom. So that is probably contributing to my slow stream too, because I got a lot of liquids in me. But anyway, I'm still money though. I'm still fly. I still look good. I'm still the man. And I still love me. Some of y'all better hope you live to be 56 so you can have a slow stream. Because you may die first. You may not make it. Ain't no guarantee you going to make it to see 56. You may die first. You may get killed. You don't know what may happen to you. You may drown, choke on some food or something. You don't know what may happen. Get shot and killed, stabbed to death. So I ain't ashamed of being old. I'm glad to get old, because shit, at least I make it. Because if we all was to die right now, and if there is a place where we meet up on the other side and we get over there and I'm 56 and you over there with me and you ain't nothing but 27, I win. Because I lived goddamn 30, 29 more years than you did. You ain't go but 27. I went to 56. So, you know what I'm saying? I had more fun than you. I had more women than you. I had more fun. You got jerked. So the older you live, the more you live, the better it is for you. But anyway, what was I talking about? Puff, right? This is what I was talking about. Look at how sharp my mind is. So I went to the trial. I was like all y'all. Look at the 5-0 right here. They go to cops, y'all. Let me turn my light off. 5-0. Hold up, y'all. 5-0 right there. So, y'all still with me? Yes or no? So I was like y'all, right? I was like y'all. I believed Puffy was guilty of everything that everybody said on social media over the last 10 years, especially the last 3 to 4 years when it really got intense. I was a victim. I was a fool. I was a follower. I allowed myself to be influenced by fake news on mainstream media. I allowed myself to be influenced by rappers that hated him. I allowed myself to believe social media. And I convicted this man in my mind before I even went to the trial. And I went, and let me ask y'all, how many of y'all thought Puffy guilty of all the things they said about him before the trial? And if you still believe he's guilty of all of the things, that's fine. You can say that too. And how many of y'all have changed your perception of Puff based on the testimony, the evidence, and the verdict? "47-hour fast." I'm on a 47-hour intermittent fast. 47 hours. Y'all still there? Or y'all done left? I always thought it was a money grab. Okay, and I see you. I didn't know what to think. Heard a lot. There you go, Henry. Fran Taylor, what up? Well, I believed everything they said, man. I believed that he was gay. I believe that the freak off. I believe that a freak off was a big party in his mansion or mansions where he had hidden cameras recording senators and CEOs and judges and politicians engaging in sexual debauchery, right? Homosexual behavior. I believe that there were minors. I believed the Instagram posts where they put a reel together where they showed him, you heard sounds of him, having sex and all of this stuff. And I believed it. And I went to the trial. This is the honest to God truth. I went to the trial to hear it. I wanted to hear it on the stand. And I was going to come out right, that he was the Black Epstein. I was going to come out of the courtroom and I was going to put a salacious title on the YouTube video, an inflammatory thumbnail, everything Tisa Tales did. I was gonna make an inflammatory title, and I was gonna make money off of the bullshit that I believed that he was doing. And I went to the trial, and I didn't hear none of it. I heard Cassie get on the stand and say she loved him. And then from that point, I said, this ain't, I said, if this is the government's star witness, this is all a lie. None of it came out. Other than that this nigga got a bunch of women, right? And he likes to have sex with his girl, Cassie and Jane, and he likes to watch a dude knock them down. That's on him. That's on him. You know, but save that, none of that other stuff came out. And believe you me, if the government had it, they would have produced it. But they didn't have it because that was all a lie. And then when I started seeing the lies, that's when I changed. That's when I changed my whole perception of Puff. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I really started helping him. When I saw the lies. And I saw them witnesses getting up on the stand and committing perjury. I said, they tried to do my man in. They trying to do him in. No, nothing. That's all right. Puff will be all right, man. He's in there doing push-ups. Like the same transformation that I went through, that I just talked about in this video, about my experience in prison, the same thing is happening to this guy. And he's going to come out, he's going to be a monster. He's going to be a monster to deal with. Yeah, big boots. That's what he was into with them. But he had like Puffy, they say Puffy had, Cassie out of her mouth said he had about 9 or 10 girlfriends. That's what Cassie said on the stand. All right, y'all. Let me get up out of here. And I'm gonna catch up with y'all later. Appreciate y'all coming through. Thank everybody for the super chats. Tariq Lopes, what up? And I'll probably catch up with y'all probably tomorrow, man. All right. Peace. All right, y'all. Peace.